I'm Ian Twombly.
And I'm David Tulis.
And we're at the St. Mary's Airport in St. Mary's, Maryland, Southern Maryland, south of DC, and we're doing a little bay tour today.
We're doing a bay tour. We're gonna head up north from here. We're gonna do a little grass strip landing, if we could, at 3W3,
Yep.
Kentmore.
Kentmore, yep.
And I heard they had decent food near there.
Yeah, it's on Kent Island, which is on the east side of the bay. So we'll avoid the SIFRA, take it easy today, and yeah, we can land and walk right over to the Crab Shack.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
All right, so I'll just mention right now that we're going to stay below 4,500 feet because soon enough that'll be something we need to be cognizant of.
Yeah, with the Class B.
Yeah, and out of St. Mary's, I went ahead on the foreflight. I waypointed a private strip 1MD1 at Big Oak Farm, and that's at the mouth of Little Chop Tank River and Chop Tank River, and it's a good waypoint. And we were talking about this earlier. There is a nuclear power plant that we can use just out of St. Mary's, but you don't want to loiter over that.
Yeah.
But keep that underneath your left wing, and you'll be out of the restricted area that's to the right, to the south.
Yeah.
We're not wearing life preservers right now because we are within gliding distance of each shore at this point right now. But if you wanted to and you were further out to the east, you could probably, you could go higher or you could wear a life preserver.
Yeah. So yeah, you come out of St. Mary's, make a bit of a right turn, and if you keep that, as you're going northeast, if you keep the nuke plant off your left side and there's a bunch of white tanks.
Yeah.
That's a natural gas loading facility.
Okay.
So you keep those two industrial facilities kind of between, you know, one off the left side, one off the right side. You're perfect. And then it's just a nice short hop right across the water. You're on the eastern shores, we call it.
Right now we are over land. It was that quick as we were just talking for a minute.
Yeah, so this landing is a little tricky, mostly because we got the SIFRA right off the end of the runway, and the wind is pointing towards that runway. So we're going to have to keep the turn tight. In terms of grass, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. We haven't had a lot of rain. It's, I think it's in good condition, I've heard. So it's really just trying to make a generally light touchdown and not forcing it on. But it's not too much different, honestly. There are no wheel pants on this 182, so that makes it easy, nothing we have to worry about.
And you're coming in over the bay, so you got a clear approach.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with grass is, you know, there's usually no vazzy or pappy or anything, so you're gonna have to judge the height yourself. There's a little tree there off the end we'll just watch out for. But easy peasy on this one. Little dip there.
Ian, you landed us here at the grass strip at Kentmore.
Mm-hmm.
Came in for lunch. We got a late lunch. You can tell from the sun angle. How was it?
The landing or the lunch?
Well, we'll grade the landing later.
Okay.
Tell me about the lunch.
Lunch was awesome. I mean, this is such a cool airport. So, you know, if you've been to a flying community before, you're familiar with like hangar homes and how that works. This is a public use hangar home community, basically. So you got this gorgeous grass strip literally right on the water. You've got these really nice homes, people walking their dogs everywhere. It's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
You just walk down the street, I mean, 2 blocks, and you eat at the beach bar, and
the Kentmore Marina, and it was awesome.
It was fantastic.
I got a baked fish that was excellent.
And we got the crab cake, which was fantastic.
And we got a seafood pizza.
A seafood pizza, yeah.
But it is beautiful. No, the landing here, the grass strip, really was uneventful. You came in, you circled the field a couple of times, which is probably a pretty good idea for a lot of fields if you're not familiar with it. There was some traffic here to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
But generally, it's well maintained. The grass is not too high. It hasn't rained in a while.
Right.
So the conditions were good?
Yeah, I mean, it was no problem. The one thing is, you can't expect a flat surface. So for example, in the flare, and it's like, oh, there goes the ground. It's like bottom dropped out, and so we were a little higher than I expected, but that's fine. It worked out fine. It's funny, the wind as we're standing here, we've noticed that a bunch of people were taking off downwind, and so this is something that I think you have to balance at airports because they say noise abatement. They want you to take off on 2.8, which right now happens to be downwind, and so it's like, well, are we going to follow noise abatement, or are we going to do what we think is the better thing to do? And 2 minutes ago, I would have said, yeah, we can take off on 2.8 because the wind was light, but now, feeling it now, no, we're going to take off the other way. So that's
true.
Yeah. So we're going to take off from here and keep heading north. We're going to the end or the beginning, depending on how you look at the bay. So technically from a water standpoint, the beginning, up where the bay meets the Susquehanna River, Harford County Airport in Havre de Grace, Maryland.
So David, we're on the last leg. Just taking off out of Kentmore.
Yeah, pretty day.
It's gorgeous. We decided to stay on the east side because flying in the Northeast is never easy because of airspace.
Right.
And on the top of the bay, there is another restricted area for the Aberdeen Proving Grounds that's, I think, usually active. And we're headed to Harford County Airport in Maryland.
And that's near the city that I can't pronounce, Havre de Grace.
Yeah.
And that's at the top. Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace, I think. Yep.
It is at the top of the bay.
Yep.
And so what are we going to see there at Havre de Grace?
Well, we started in the south, started in Jamestown, started at the mouth of the bay, and I just felt like we had to go all the way. And so the top of the bay is where the Susquehanna empties into the bay.
Okay.
Havre de Grace is at that confluence of the bay and the Susquehanna.
What are your overall impressions of flying the Chesapeake Bay, Ian?
It's gorgeous. I mean, you can see the weather today is incredible. It's beautiful. Once you do a little bit of planning, the airspace isn't too much of a problem. You get a little bit of everything. You get to see sailing ships, yachts, little fishing boats, barges going into Baltimore. You get sandy beaches, shallows. You get to see farmland, cities. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. It's really been an incredible trip, really beautiful.
It is. But the other thing that I noticed as far as emergency fields, they're pretty much everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely here, especially on the eastern side where you're staying out of the CIFRA. The eastern shore is very rural. There's all kinds of farmland that you could, emergency sites. So I think really the hardest part about this trip to me is picking where you're going to stop because there are just dozens and dozens of options. We've stayed outside the CIFRA, but if you wanted to go inside the CIFRA, Annapolis, Lee, which is a gorgeous area. There's Essex.
Sky Park. I've been there before. It's great.
Right up from there, there's Martin State, which is the big airport for Baltimore, and even BWI as a GA destination is not too bad.
Yeah.
So lots of options, lots of cool places to go. There's Easton on the eastern shore.
I've never been to Easton.
Yeah, it's easy to get in and out. You can go to St. Michael's, which is a really nice tourist area.
Okay.
Lots of big art scene and things like that. There's a maritime museum. So just a lot of everything, really.
Great trip, beautiful conditions, a lot of fun. A little bit of planning goes a long way.
Yeah, that's true. Harford County, Skyline 8 Mike Juliet, left downwind number 2, runway 1, full stop, Harford County.
Harford traffic 110, Bravo X-ray, left base 01, Harford.
So we have touch and go for 10 Bravo X-ray.
Harford traffic, Skyline 8 Mike Juliet, left base, full stop, runway 1, Harford.
Belly check, right, left.
And Mike Juliet, final runway 1, full stop, Harford. We got some tall power lines there at the end
Right
of the
after
runway.
the power lines, I'm going to go in full flap, but not until. Yeah, that is tricky.
Yeah, you're good. You're clear.
David, we did it.
We did it. We're at the
We're
end of the Chesapeake Bay Trail. You know, it's interesting. We're at Concord Point here in Harford County Airport.
Yeah, that's right. It's about 15 minutes from the airport to town, and it's totally worth it. I mean, this is like literally it. Of course, we say it's the end because we went south to north. I was telling that in the FBO, and they kind of laughed at me because this is actually the beginning of the
from
bay,
the north
right?
to the south, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So on the left side is the Susquehanna River that empties into the bay, and on the right side is the beginning of the bay. So
it's awesome.
Yeah,
you know, this area that we're standing in right now has a lot of historical significance from the turn of the 18th to 17th to 18th century.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got apparently the British came ashore here for the War of 1812. It's called Concord Point because I guess the residents were so excited about the victory at Concord during the Revolution, they renamed a lot of the streets.
Nice.
And this point, Concord Point. So yeah, a lot of history. It's a beautiful day.
We saw some birds flying, some folks fishing, folks walking their dogs. This would be a good destination for anyone with a GA aircraft.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get to, and like you said, it's either at the end of the bay or at the beginning of the bay, depending on your perspective.
That's right.
Ian, we've gone from one end of the bay to the other. We picked out some destinations. You picked out some destinations. What else can we do to get people flying around the Chesapeake Bay and other parts of the country?
Yeah, so I mean, we picked just a few that we wanted to see. We talked about some that we left out and why, but let us know in the comments. I mean, where do you like around the bay? There's so many options. So tell us where you like to fly and why.